Greetings to everybody watching me right now. Welcome back to Shexa's YouTube channel. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. If you have subscribed already, thank you very much for subscribing to this YouTube channel. Today we're going to look at Microsoft PowerPoint. I've received some requests saying, please Shexa help us with PowerPoint. Please Shexa repeat the PowerPoint lecture. So today we're going to cover Microsoft PowerPoint practicals, and this PowerPoint that we're going to have, it will be having some illustrations. It will have some illustrations. So let's get into business. But before we get into business, you know what I like to get some likes from you. So give me your likes, give me your comments, give me your service in sharing this link, and then most importantly, subscribe to this channel. Let's get into business. So I will start by showing you the PowerPoint slideshow that we're going to come up with, so that you know what to expect from this lecture, and you know what you shall be able to do after learning this PowerPoint practical. So the main aim of this is to give you the skill of presenting and preparing the presentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one of the presentation slideshow that I've presented somewhere, and I will teach you how to come up with such a presentation. I just assume that this is one of the best presentations. This is one of the best presentation slideshows that I've made in my life, and I think I'm going to improve and get to design a better or the most beautiful slideshow ever. So I will run it from here so that you will see what we are going to learn today, and I will also run through some few slides to show you how one is supposed to present a PowerPoint slideshow. And one point to note is that we have covered basics of Microsoft PowerPoint. So today it's more like a learning through project, learning through doing. So we're going to start a new slide, and then we come up with something like this. So this is the slide. So what is happening is I'm introducing myself. So I will go through and run this slideshow as if I am presenting to somebody, so that you learn how to present verbally while showing your slideshow. So I will start from scratch. So let me escape. Let's say the MC is now is just giving me time to say, Mr. Mashega, this is please proceed with your presentation. Then I say thank you. I go to the stage, and then I say, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Martin Mashega, and I am here to present how one can interface a stepper motor to a microcontroller. Right, here are the main goals or the objectives of what we are going to learn today. We are going to learn about microcontrollers. We will talk about microcontroller variancy. We are going to talk about microcontroller applications. We're going to talk about how a microcontroller functions. And then the second goal or second objective is we're going to talk about what a stepper motor is. Secondly, how a stepper motor works and its applications. And then the third goal being the driver, which which is A4988, and this driver is used to interface the microcontroller and the stepper motor. And then another goal is combining or assembling the hardware components together. And then lastly, we look at coding and demonstration. All right, so let's get into microcontrollers and its applications. All right, so a microcontroller is a compact integrated circuit designed to govern a specific operation in embedded systems. There are many types of controllers, including PIC, ARM, 8051, AVR, MSP, and so forth. But in this lecture or in this presentation, we are going to look at Arduino Uno, which is a microcontroller board based on the 80 mega 328P, and it's used in security alarms. It's used in, that's the application of our microcontrollers. They are used in security alarms, automobiles, smart ovens, automated control systems. And then we look at we have talked about the controller variances, which are PIC, ARM, 8051, and so forth. And then we have talked about controller applications and the Arduino, which is the one that we are going to look at in this presentation. Right, we then look at stepper motor and its applications. So a stepper motor is just a DC motor that divides a full rotation into a number of equal steps. They move in discrete steps. Variants of stepper motors include, we have unipolar stepper motor, which is a magnetic in other words, a unipolar stepper motor is a magnetic pole. Its magnetic pole can be reversed without switching the direction of current. The communication circuit, it can be made very simple, e.g. a single transistor for each winding. And then stepper motors, they are mostly used in 3D printing. And then here is how bipolar stepper motor operates. If you power one of the coils in that way, then the magnet is attracted, the north pole is attracted to that coil, and that way it rotates one step in the clockwise direction. And then here is the A4988 driver, and so forth and so forth and so forth. It runs like that. Right, so that's it. Let's say this is the end of my presentation. I then say thank you. I didn't want to run all the slides because it might take much of our time. So that this is how one can actually present. This is how one can prepare a slideshow. So this slide that I've indicated or demonstrated to you is the one that we're going to make, and we will not make the whole of it, but to cover some areas. We'll cover how other things we done, and then maybe I'll get to the final slide. Then I say thank you, and then I wait for questions while I prepare for the answers here. Right, so that's the presentation that we're going to come up with. So I think you have observed that this is PowerPoint. I only have the powerful points. Which are these ones? These are my powerful points. Okay, but more detail about these points came from the presenter, who was me. Right, so let's begin to prepare our own lecture. Right, so what we do, we open PowerPoint and then we create new slide. So what we do, say file, and then we say new. We get a blank presentation, and then we delete these text boxes, we delete them. Right, we are left with a blank PowerPoint presentation. Right, with this blank PowerPoint presentation, we now want to come up with a slideshow which is identical to the one that I've illustrated to you. Right, so let's start by adding the background. Since the background of my previous slide was green like that, so let's just have our background as green like that as well. So we go to where to design, right, format background, and then we say solid fill, which is the color, and then we can choose our color from here. Let's go to more colors and then select our green, that one, and then say okay. And that's the green that we have, but transparency, let's change its transparency to that, and then we are done. Then let's have transitions. The transition that we saw previously was what? Let's just check. It's that one. Okay, that's fine. So what do we do next? We is this the transition? If that's the one, let's don't think that's it. I think it's repo, which is this one, and then we preview. You see, right? So that's the transition that we have. And then what's next? We want an image, so we click on insert picture, and then what do we do? We select the picture. Let's just say I want to use this picture, then click insert. Something happens. Right, there is my picture. So this is the picture that I want, but we can format this picture using picture styles. We can style it. Let's style it with this one, and then change its size. We are dragging the top right corner. So if you drag this one, you see what happens with the picture. If you drag this side, so we don't want to do that because we will stretch our image without keeping the image's resolution. So we drag this corner or that corner or that corner to enlarge or resize our image. So we want it to be there. Right, that's our image, and then we want topic image. So what do? We try to run it, and then that's it. But the picture is already there. But on the previous presentation, what happened? And then it zooms in, and then the text comes in without clicking any button. Right, that's fine. Let's now apply what we need. Anyway, let's first put the image or the images that we want. So what we do next is we open the browser, and then we look for images that we want. Let's just say this is this the topic. So let's just say topic icon image. Alright, so then we go onto pictures. So we may select this one. We may copy image or enlarge it so that we choose, let's just choose this round one, and then copy image, and then we come here and paste it, right click and then paste it. This is the topic, we put it there. And then what do we do next? We want to add the text, which is the name of the presenter. So we may say click on insert and then text box, then you click where you want to put the text. So I want to put the text there, but it's what? It's a presenter's name, like say Marty, let me just say Shexa Martin here. And then we click on Ctrl+A, or we highlight everything inside this text box. We increase the size, we bold our text, and then we position it outside the slide, move it outside like that, right? So after moving it out like that, we also want another text, so we control copy and paste it, we put it there, and then this is what our topic, and then here we say topic, and the topic is PowerPoint practical, right? So what we do is we want to keep it outside here, alright, something like this. And then maybe we may change the size, the font size. Let's change the font of this text to 50 to 40. Alright, let's leave it at 40. And then we may change the size, the font color rather, to that, right, and we draw it closer to our slide. And then what happens is, you see that when I try to run it like that, I only see these things. Even if I go next, nothing appears. But I want this text to get into this place, right? So what I do is I go to animations tab and then add animation, then more motion paths, and then I click on right, see, right? So it's moving to that, but I want it to move to this location, to this position, right? So I want it to move to there. Then let me preview it. Right, I have my Martin shader coming in like that. Then I may apply the same here. So instead of it coming on, running over this picture, what we can do is we click on this image, and then we right click on it, and then we send it, we bring it to front, right? By doing this, you will see that the text will run behind. Get what we're doing here, right? So we may put our image closer to the end so that people will not see that the text is coming out from outside the slide. So they will just see text coming in like that. They will just see text coming in. Same applies to this. Let's just move this one in a bit, and then this one goes out a bit, right? And then we right click and bring this one front, and then this one we add our animation, which is the same. Animations, add animation, more motion paths, and then we choose right. Then we say okay, and then we add it, we drag it to this position where we want our text to appear. Alright, so we can try to run it. So this is what happens when I click next. Shexa Martin appears, and then topic also comes in, right? So you then present it like that. You can say once the MC calls you and allows you to present, you just run it and you say, good morning ladies and gentlemen. You click on next and say, my name is Shexa Martin, and you click next and you say, I'm here to present PowerPoint practical topics. You're done. But the image now is this one. It's supposed to do what? To appear. Or just to zoom it. And then we also need to zoom this image. So we have entrance animations, we have emphasis animations, we have exit animations, we have motion paths. You see this, right? So when we say zoom, it's going to appear in a zooming fashion. So we zoom it like that. But now we may close this and open animation pane to say this picture, which is this one, must come first and then followed by the text, which is that, and then this picture must go after this and then goes. So this let's try to run it. Let me open the keyboard so that you see how I'm running this this slide. So this is the keyboard. When I run it like that, nothing is coming up until I click next. The picture comes in, I click next again, then the name comes in, I click a picture, and the next again, picture comes in, click next, and then the text comes in. You see this? So what do I need to do now? What do I need to do now? What I need to do is, I don't want this this text to come in after a button click, right? So what we want to do is, we want this message to come in. Let's go back. Click there, go back. I want to say when the picture comes in. When the picture comes in, when I say click, before I click, this text must come in. So let me click on escape. Right, so what we want to do is we run it like that. So what we do is we click this animation and click the drop down arrow and say start after previous, and then same applies to this start after the previous picture 4. Start after previous, right? Then we run it. Then once we run it, we may say, let's run it again, and then we say next. The picture comes in and the text comes in as well. The picture comes in and the text comes in after. So that's exactly what we want. But this image must come in. You may choose to say this image must come in the moment I start to run my my slide. So what you can do is, you can say click the image and then go to the animations and say start after previous. So what happens is, the moment you run it will run like that without clicking any button. The first two, the image and the text comes in, then you click next, the image and the text comes in. So we are done on slide number 1, which is exactly the same as done on this slide. You see this? We have that text comes in, we have that image, and the text comes in, right? So that's it on slide number 1. Then we insert new slide. We insert new slide. Click that. We delete everything. Let's just minimize our keyboard. We delete this. just click it and delete it. Right, we want what? We want a shape. Let's run the slide that we are copying so that you see what we are trying to to copy. Right, so this is it. We have the ball on course, and then we have the ball rolling around this shape, and this is a dot image, and then we have a text coming that way. So what do we do? How do we do that? And let's do it this way. We click on insert, and then we go to shapes, and then we choose the circular shape and block arrows. This is the block arrow. It's this way we can get that shape. Let me check. Circular shape, we can get it. More likes, please give me more likes as I check for the block shape that we are looking for. This is not the one, so let's click on insert again in shapes. Let's look on shapes. Alright, so we click on insert, and then we say shapes, and then we can take this one, and then we draw it. Let's just draw it this way, right? And then we drag this corner, get the circle, right? So you can now change, you can rotate it, so we can resize it to as big as we want. Resize it to as big as we want, right? We can rotate it to that, enlarge it. You see how I'm enlarging this, right? So what happens is, now I want this circle to be like this and shrink like that, but now I need some space at the top there. I need space here to put the ball like what we have here, like what we have on this previous slide. This one, we have this ball in course there. So here we have that. Let's try to format it. Outline, let's give it white, and let's just do it this color, and then inner here let's just leave it like that. Let's have shape effect here. On shape effect, that's where you can put any effect of your choice. You may choose to just click it and go to format, shape effects. You may choose to have it that way, but now let's the outline, let's put some red color there, and then let's enlarge it so that right, you can see that this time we are now coming up with a bigger, or with a better image. Let's try to add some effects. Shadow, no, we don't want shadow, we don't want that. Glow, we don't glow, we don't want that. Let's try to have this effect. No, 3D rotation. You see, you can do, or you can apply all these. Right, so let me rotate it a bit, rotate a bit again. Let's just leave it like that, like this, like that. Right, let's leave it like that and have our board. So we go to our browser and then we Google champions league board image. Right, so we choose let's just choose this one and then copy image. We minimize our browser, we paste the image here, and then so this is the one that we put there, and then we format, we style it, we choose this one, and then we reduce the size of our board. But now it's too small. Let's just put a border instead of having it that way. Let's just save it with that border and then put it there. Right, so we can say picture border, its color we want it to be white so that it's not visible. Then we have the same border, we can have the same border. Control C, Control V, we put it there, and then we reduce the size so that it fits with our shape here. So after this we can reduce this as well and have our text box. We say insert text box, we put our text box there, and then we say goals, and then on this goals, right, you highlight everything in that text box, you increase the size to that, and then you can change the color to maybe red, and then you can bold it, right? And then what is needed now is to add some shapes, some additional shapes, but we need objectives, icon objectives, objectives image. So we have this. So you see, if you Google, you find this. So the one that I've used is this one. So you can copy the image and then go down and then paste it. Then we can put it there. So that's where we want our image to be at. So what's next is that we want to put some text. Then we can insert, we can just copy this text box, Control C, Control V after clicking it, and then you go there, you go to home, you change the color of the text to blue, which is this blue, and then you can put the first goal, which is let's say home tab, and then we Control C, Control V, and then we go to here. I'm now putting goals to say you want to present about PowerPoint, but you start by talking about the home tab, and then you go to insert tab, and then you go to the next one. Here I'm just putting the content that I want on my slide. Here from insert you go to design, and then you paste, and then here you say, and other goal is to talk about animations. Animations tab, so we push this on this side so that it fits and doesn't go over the image. Control C, Control V, we have our final goal here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goals, just that. So that's it. Let's now put the underlining lines. Underlining lines, let's just say shape, and then what we do, we can just have this dot here, and then we shape it to, let's put what, red, and then the outline, let's put blue, and then the weight of the blue line, let's put 4 point something. Right, and then let's insert another shape, which is just a line. This line must go that way, and this line's color is blue, and then we add some weights, give it that weight, and then the color, we want this kind of blue. Then we can actually, we can change we can now edit our line. Now we click on this shape and then control, let me do it this way. You click on that shape and then you click on, we press control. While control is still pressed, you can add more objects that are highlighted. Then you release the control, you right click on those highlighted objects. Let me minimize this, and then here we right click, and then you group this and say this is one group, right? And then we are now copying this, Control C, Control V, we copy this to there, and then we edit the size of this line to this, like that. Same applies, we paste Control V, we go to the other objective, then we edit this line so that it fits. We can leave it like that, and then we Control V, we paste the same line, and then we put it here, or maybe we can put it there. Put it there, and then you can edit this line and change it to that, and then we can paste that line as well and put it there, and then we edit that line to that, right? So we now have everything that is needed on our slide. But if you run it from this slide, you will see that everything is just there on the screen, but it's not animated, and this bar is not moving. Right, so what we do is the first thing to appear in our slide is this one. Then we go to animations and add animation, we add zoom, and then we get to goals, you add zoom as well. Then you choose what you want to animate first, so maybe this one, and I want this one to wipe in this direction, and then we add this text. This text must zoom, you can add this to zoom. Then same applies to this. You add animation, you wipe in which direction, in that direction. And then you add animation to this, and then you say zoom. Right, so what will happen? We've made a mistake here to say this must start, so this one comes after this one, and let's just remove this. Let's just remove this, the animation we applied on 3. So we apply animation on this first and then on that first, right? So the ball must also zoom in, but it must zoom in first before these two appears, so it goes up above group 20. So we drag it to there. Let's just see what happens, right? So our ball appears, goes come in, our ball appears, and then the text comes in like that, right? So this image must also zoom in or just appear. So we zoom it, but it must come after goals. Goals is this one, animation number 2. So we click this and drag it to that position. So what happens is this. Okay, we have our ball, and then goals, then the picture comes in, and then after the picture we are supposed to have this image coming in. So this image is coming in with a motion where it's coming from somewhere. So it's coming from where? From outside there, and it's coming to this position, right? So this one must come after this circular, right? And then the ball comes after that, and then after that we have our that and our that. Let's try to run it from here. Ball comes in, goals, and here are the goals, the targets, objectives, and then we get our ball, and then our text. Then it's the ball is now supposed to rotate. So we click on this, and then we add animation, and then we go to more motion parts, and then we choose arc right. We just choose arc right and click OK. So this is the arc we edit points. So we want the ball to end here, so we drag this point to there, and then we can drag this point to there, and then we can delete this. You right click and delete, you right click this one and you delete it. So we may add one point there, you can click. We're now dragging our line. So this is the path to be followed by the ball. So the ball is supposed to follow this path, right? So what happens is this, let's test it, right? We have that our ball, and then we have goals, then we have that shape come in, then we have our dot, the ball comes in, the text comes in, home tab, and then the ball rolls in that direction. You get what I'm saying, right? So now after this we need to animate this. We wipe it in this direction, and then we have our text zoom in, add animation, zoom it in, we test our slide. You see all those that we are adding animations, they disappear, but they will appear later, right? Goals, then we have that, we have that, we have that, we have that, that, right? So where are we now? After this is objective, we need to click on the ball. We need to click on the ball and add animation, more path, and then we choose that arc still. We say OK, and then this arc now, we right click and edit points. It must start from where it left, right, which is there, and then it must end here where we have our next objective, and we put it within there so that it keeps on it keeps the track. And then we may choose to delete, these points, we may choose to delete all. Right, so we drag this point to there, and we can edit the path like that. We can edit the path, right? So we have that, and then after the ball comes there, this line must wipe and in that direction, and then the text zooms in or just appear. Then from there, let's just test what's happening. We have that, 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 we have that. Right, so that's it. Let's get to the next. So from here we need to click on our ball and add another animation, and then motion paths, right, arc. And then what we do is right, so we edit here, we edit the points. So we want our ball to start from where it is left, and then it will end here, and then we can drag this point to there, and then delete. We can delete this point. We can as well delete this point, and then our ball is now moving in that direction. We can edit the path. We can edit the path, and then we can move this to there. It's so unfortunate that sometimes I reduce my volume unknowingly. I do not want to do that. I'm very sorry to those who are being affected by that. Right, so that's it. We now have our ball, which will move in that direction. Right, so we can test, and then we can test it that way. Right, we've seen all these items, but now what we want to do here is we are just testing to see if it's working. So I've observed that this is moving in a certain way which I do not want it to move like. Right, so just want it to move like that, and then after that we wipe this. We have that, we add animation of that to that, and then we let this one zoom in. Then we add effects, like we zoom there. Then we add animation to our ball as well, which I think is the final one. What we do, we add animation, which is more motion parts, and then we get our arc. Now this time I want the left one, right, this one. And where does it start from? I just right click and edit it. Right click and edit points. So I want it to start from where it left here, and I want it to end at there. And I put one of my points there. Then I deleted the rest that are remaining here. Right, so let's now edit our points like that, and then move this one there, This one can actually move that way, and then we shape it that way. We can drag a bit down like that, and then our ball must go there to the end, because this is the last point or the last objective that we have. And then after this we wipe this like that in that direction. So I think you now understand how to add animations and how to allow some objects to move in a specific or certain direction that you want. Right, I add animation here. I can say zoom there. So you can see that if I test it, you see there's nothing on the slide, but when I click on next here, next, you will see that click next, the ball comes, the text comes, the image comes, then the dot image comes in, and then the ball comes in, and next the line comes in, text comes in, the ball comes, and the ball now rolls along the shape, and then we have our other objective. The ball moves like that, get it going like that, get the text, now the last goal. Right, so that's how it's done. But now we don't want to have many clicks like this. Another thing is we want to add an animation on our slide. We don't want what I want is I want the ball to disappear once we are done. So just add animation and then let it disappear. Right, so what I want is I want to say when I click here, when this ball comes in, I want this ball to come in after click. So this is the first one, so I click, I say start on click. Right, then after that I go away here, this one, let me just test it to see if the ball is coming after click. Right, it's here. So here, next, let me click here. Next, ball comes in. Right, so what I want is I want all these from the ball up to this ball. I want all these animations to come after each other. So what I do is I just click on the keyboard and then on control, sorry, it's shift, and then control up. Somebody is calling me here. Right, so what happens is I go to this, is this the one? Right, so what I want is I want this, I click on control and then this, that, and then leave this one, and then click here and say start after previous. Get what I'm saying? And then click on this image, it's picture 2. Right, so it will, what will happen, this is what will happen if I run it from there. This is what happens. The picture comes in. I've executed it from scratch. Then I click next, it comes in like that. Next, it goes that way. Next, the ball comes in, and all these are coming in without any button click. Then the moment I click a button, then the ball comes in. But I want the ball, after the ball comes in, I want all this. I click on control and then this and that to come after each other. Then I say come after previous, like that. Then I test it. Then after testing it, I run it. My hands are here, it goes in, then I click next, it goes that way, it waits for me to click next. When I click next now, it now needs me to click so that all the text comes in. So I click Control as well. Let me click Control, right click Control, then highlight this and group 28. So let me just check to say which ones. Right, let me end here and say start after previous. Right, so I can test it, say check to check what's going on, then click there. It's now going. I click next. Right, I click next. Right, so I say this one and that one must come after each other. Start to after previous. Right, I do what? I test it. So whatever we do, we test it. Whatever we do, we test it. Click that. There it goes. I click next. It goes that way. I click next. It goes that way. I click next. It goes that way. So it's supposed to run the next two instructions. So this one and that one must also start after each other. Alright, and then this one and that one must start after each other. Right, and then what I will do, I will test it with my hands here. I'll click next. Nothing up. It goes that way. I talk about home tab. This is that. Then I go to the next objective. We go that. From there we go to the next objective. We talk about that. We go to the next objective. We talk about that. And then last objective. That's it. We are done. So this is the slide. So you may just move this text in, or you may just resize it like that, and then you have this group move in a bit, and then this text can actually be not overlap there. So you may change the size so that it fits within the slide like that. Can go down there. Right, and then if I try to run it, it will run perfectly. So I click next, the ball comes in that shape and the dot image, and I click that, it goes that way. Right, talk about insert. So these are the points that are coming with animation, which captivates your audience. You go that way, next, you go next, you go last objective. Talk about not the last objective. So if you want to, if you have more objectives, you may as well add them here. Right, so the next slide is about what? The next slide is about no. Let me check where we are copying this from. Right, we have this slide again. Get what I'm saying? We have this slide. So I'm sure you're not able to edit some shapes and other things, but the last thing that we shall talk about is working with something like this and having it to work like that. So you have that. you start like that, and it goes that way, it goes that way, you do all that. So this is another slide that we shall talk about. So we insert new slide, then we delete all this because we don't want this to be here. We delete it, cut, you click there, you right click, you cut it, right? So what can you have? What you may have is this. You may say, insert text box. Here, and I want to show you how one can edit a text box to have a certain color of his or her choice. Text box like what? Let's say this one is the home tab. In this slide, you are going to talk about the home tab, right? Then you highlight everything. You click there, you drag that way. You highlight it. You change the size of the font, and then you drag it top. Right. After dragging it to the top, what happens is we want to change the background of this this tab. So you format it shape view. You may choose to have it blue or any kind of blue color. Let's just have this blue. And then shape outline. I love red so much. I'm a Liverpool fan, so maybe that's the reason why I keep choosing red. And then I want the weight of that to be that. Then the font size, it's okay, but what I want, right, it's okay. Let's leave it like that. And maybe let me style my text to what? How do I want to style my text? Let me have the shading there. Let me do what? Right, so what I want to do here is text effect. Do I have text effect? Text direction. I don't want to change. Align text, convert to smart art. You may convert to smart art, but let's just leave it like that. Let's just leave our text like that. And then we may put a certain shape, or let's say here we may have our text like that, and then insert a shape. Let's say this is circle here, right? So we we put red in it, and then blue outside. Then we change the weight to something like 6 point. Then you just change it to that, and then you align it to a certain position. Right. So what you do here is, right, we now want to have what? We now want to have something like this, which runs like this. So what we do is we choose a certain shape. So let's apply animation to this first. This one must zoom, and this one shall wipe going downwards. So you will see how it goes. It goes that way. When I click next, it zooms in, and then the text comes in. So that's how it goes. So what I need next is a shape. So I say insert, then I go to shapes, I choose this shape, and then say this is the shape that I selected, and then I rotate it. So the first point that I want is there, must be there, and then I add another shape which is just a circle, a small circle, just put it and drag it. I may use arrows here to move this shape. Then move it up. Then I can change the colors of my shape. Let me put white inside, or let me just put red inside, and then I put blue outside, and then some weight, change some weight to 2.25 or to 3, just like that. And then this shape I can also change the color. I can change the color of the outline to red, and then the weight, I will put this weight, this one, and then this small shape I may drag it downwards, down a bit, down a bit, down a bit, and down a bit as well. Then on this shape I can drag this yellow line to say this so that it becomes pointy. Then I drag this dot down, 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 and to that side, like that. Then I copy, I click on that, and then click on Control, and then click that as well. Then Control C, Control V. Then I put it there at the middle because I have 3 points to talk about. Then I say Control V as well, and then put this one to the last because that's the last point. And then what do I have next? I want to insert a line. I get a line from there, and then I join it from there to that, and then change the weight maybe to that, and then Control C of that to that line, then Control V so that I paste it. Then I can have it on that. I can connect it to these 2 points as well. You observe that this line must align, so let me connect it to that as well, that way, right? And then I can drag my items like that, right? So what's next is I want a text box. So here is a text box. So here what I do is right, I can add a text box. I can add a text box, insert what? Text box where I can click text box here. So here I can say this is home tab, and under home tab what do we have? We'll talk about clipboard, and then I can edit this. This is just the heading, so I'll increase the size of that, and then bold it like that, and then I can have it there, and then I can have some, I can leave it like that, and then I can copy this, Control C, Control V, then I have it there. And here I'll talk about the font, and then I position my text there, or my text box there. Then I Control V, Control C, Control V. Then from font we talk about paragraphing. Paragraph, just a paragraph, and then position it like that. So that's it. So we can actually click this one, and click that one, and click that one. Why are we clicking all that? So that we can edit these text boxes, so that we can edit these text boxes. Right, so after that, what we do is we can change the color here to say I want this text to be of that color, and maybe the background you may change it to any color of your choice, like that. Then maybe the outline you may want it to be of that color. So that's it. Let's now check what happens. Oh, it's appearing without my permission. So that goes. So this one now animates. We go to animations. This one must zoom. Then after that, this one zooms in again. Then from there, this one wipes. From where? From left to right. Then this one zooms, and then this button goes what? Also zooms. Then this text then zooms in as well. After text zooms in, we go next, we wipe in this direction. Then this one zooms in, this one zoom as well, and then this one can zoom as well. Right, so that's it. I don't think I've added any animation there, so this animation must come after this dot, which is 4, and then let's add animation zoom, and this must come after 4 there. Right, so you can see that what I can do is I can run it from there. So you can see nothing is there. The borrow, the circular shape comes in, the heading comes in, then it goes that way, clipboard. But now I'm clicking for these shapes to come in. Without me clicking, they will not show up. So what do I need for them to go or to come without me clicking in? I go there, I say start after previous. Then this one start after previous as well, and then this one start on click, but this one and that one must start after previous, and then this one starts on click, and then this one, that one, and that one must start after previous. They must start after each other, and then this one comes after click, and then this one, that one, and that one. So I'm clicking control, and then I click on every object that I want to highlight. Then that one I say start after previous. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. We can run it and see it's coming in. Right, I talk about the clipboard. Once I'm done, I then say next. Another point comes in. When I know that I'm close to finish, or I'm almost done talking about the font, then I click next, then the points come in. So you may add, if you know that you don't know, you may not remember, or the points, you may add presenter's notes like discussed in the previous lecture where we talked about PowerPoint. Right, we add there to say the moment you talk about that, you may add some notes, or you may add another text box just below there and add some texts. For example, add text here, text box, and add text there. And under clipboard we have what copy. Then this text box, let's just increase the size, and then we put it there. Then we have paste. Let's just say copy and paste, and these two, yeah, let's just move it inner, and then move this one to there. So under here we are going to talk about copy and paste. Let's add animation and then we can have it bounce. So you can choose any of these to say I want this one to bounce in. So all these will bounce. Control C, Control V. Then under font, what are we going to talk about? Under font, we'll talk about color and size. So color and size, and to delete all these other things. Then here we'll talk about justify. Let me say alignment, and then so that's the text that we're going to talk about. And then this pop must bounce in after this one. So this one goes above 2 there, and it must start on click or must start after previous, and then this one goes there. If not mistaken, that should be it. Right, so we do that, go that way, go that way, go that way, it bounces in. We go in, we click next, it bounces. We go, we click that, bounce. So that's it. We do not need more text, but we need to be captivated as you give us more content. So that's it. Let's just add some transitions on each and every slide. On this one we've added, let's add transition on the second one. Let's add transition on the second one. Let's put this break and then go to the other one. And then on this one we want to put a curtain, a curtain, a curtain, a curtain. Or we can put this one. So let's try it. Get that. We talk about that. Right. So if I'm the one to present this slide, to say these are the 3 points that we have, right? These are the 3 slides that we have. What I can do is I can say, here, my time has come. I'm now presenting to my audience. So here is what I'm going to do. I will say, I will run it and say, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shexa Martin, and I am here to present about PowerPoint, and we're going to cover this topic practically. Then the first, here are the goals or the main objectives to be covered in this presentation. We will talk about the home tab, which is the main tab of Microsoft Office PowerPoint, where you have Clipboard, where you can edit text, paragraphing, and other things. And then we'll also talk about the insert tab, which is mostly used when you want to insert objects into the PowerPoint slide. For instance, you may add objects like pictures, you may add shapes, you may add some graphs and other things. And then from insert tab, we'll talk about the design tab, where we mainly focus on the background or the slide itself, the overall slide appearance. That's design. We'll talk about that. And then we'll talk about animations, where you can add moving objects, where you can illustrate or emulate some industrial processes. And then lastly, we'll talk about I've repeated animations, but we're going to look at slideshow tab, which allows you to run your slides from start, or you may run your slides from the current slide, that is the slide that you are currently editing. So let's now talk about the home tab. Right, we have the clipboard. The clipboard is the one that is having copy and paste. So if you want to copy any text, you use the copy command which exists within clipboard group, and then the moment you want to paste, you go to a destination or to a location where you want to paste the text or the image or any object that you want to paste, and then enter clipboard, enter home tab, you go to clipboard group, and then you select paste. So that's how you can paste, you can copy and paste text in PowerPoint. And then the next point is font. You can change the font color and the font size. And font color, you may choose to have any color of your choice. You highlight the text that you want to change, you choose the size, or you can insert a certain number in that section where we have the color command, then you apply it. Same applies to the size. And then we talk about the paragraphing, which allows you to align the text to the right or to the center, or to the right, to the center, or to the left. So that's text alignment. You can also align other objects that may exist within your slide. I thank you. So this is a typical slide that one can have on his or her slide. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for today. But before we go, let's just add a footer. So we insert header and footer so that people must know that you are the one who made it. So we go to insert tab, then header and footer. You click on footer, you type the text that you want. Let me say Shexa Martin. That's what I want. Apply to all slides. So it appears, it's there. If I'm to zoom it, you will see it. You will see it here. Right, let me change the color. Let me change the background color to any color of my choice. Let me put this. Right, so instead of that, let me just choose a color which is close to the color that we have applied to our first slide, and then have it that way. Right, same applies. Let me just reduce it a bit. Same applies, it's 81%. I apply the same color to the other slide, so you need to be consistent in terms of colors. And then you select that color, then here we put our 81. We put our 81%. Then you can close this. So our slide is now ready. And then if you want to put some sounds, you go on transitions, some sounds. Let me say when the ball comes in, you say maybe just want the bombs. So that's it. Let me put that sound. So if you run it, get the sound. So, get it. So I'm clicking up, down. So if I want sound on each slide, I click that slide, that slide, and then it's having no slide. I can put an applause. Maybe an applause is needed at the last slide. Let me insert the last slide, last slide, which is a thank you slide, and then let me zoom it to 100%. Right, and then delete everything else. Right, and add thank you. Let me just insert the shape. Let me insert this shape, and then put it there. I love editing, I want it to be this way, and then weight of that line that way. Then I add my text, edit text. Thank you message. Then you can edit your text. You may edit your text, control. You may change the color to any color of your choice. No, that's not this one. You may change text color to that. You may bold it. You may increase the size like that. Here you may change the color. I just want something like this, right? And then you may go to Google and find some images about questions. Let's just say question mark images. You may choose this image, copy the image, and then you paste it there to tell people that you now invite questions. So that's it right there. So this one must appear transition. Let's just have this guy swivel, and then this guy bounces in. Then run it from scratch. So this one is the one that must have a sound of an applause. And then this one must have a sound. This one must have a transition of this sort. Let's have this kind of transition, and the sound we have it, and then this one we have that, and then this one we have that. Right, so let's choose some sounds here. Let's cash register. Right, here let's have camera. Oh, here we have a bomb. No, we need a bomb only on the first one. Let's have camera here. Right, so if you run it, the first slide does not have sound. This must be a bomb here. So we run it. Boom. That's a bomb. We start the presentation. But you must make sure the sound that I've applied here, I've applied it so that you know how to apply sound. You must not apply sound where it's not necessary. Make sure you apply sound where it's necessary. You see, everything comes in, and then we go like that. So you present. Right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure being with you. I enjoy being with you and helping you to get through with these practicals. And whenever you get to a job, and you face challenges, feel free to contact me on this YouTube channel or on my email shexa@gmail.com. So you talk to me about the challenges that you are facing or that you will be facing, and I will help you. I will be available to help you. If you want a video, I will provide it for you. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and click the notification button before you go. May God bless you. God bless you, the one that is watching me right now. Be blessed by God in Jesus' name. Bye bye.